Good morning, class. On the previous turn, we had studied about dentition, that is the arrangement of teeth in the mouth. And we had seen that human teeth are heterodont, that is, there are different kinds of teeth, and they are actually 4 kinds of teeth. And each of these teeth are of a different shape because they perform a different function. So, teeth which differ in shape and sizes and perform different functions are called heterodont. So, human teeth are heterodont. Then we had seen that teeth are thecodont, that is, they are fixed in sockets in the jawbone. Sockets are also called alveoli. Then we had studied the third term called diphyodont, which meant that there are 2 sets of teeth in a lifetime of a human. The first set is the temporary teeth. They are shed off, so they are also called deciduous teeth, and another name for them given to them are milk teeth. And they are 20 in number. They fall off, and by 12 years of age, a complete new set comes out, and this is permanent set of teeth. So 3 terms: diphyodont, 2 appearance of teeth twice in a lifetime; thecodont, that is teeth fixed in sockets or alveoli in the jaw; and heterodont, that is different kinds of teeth performing different functions. So the 4 kinds of teeth were incisors, which were used for cutting and biting. After incisors, on both sides of the incisors, there is 1 canine in each jaw on both sides of the incisor, 1 canine which makes it 2 in each jaw, and they are for holding and tearing food. Then we have the premolars, which are 2 on each side of the canine. So in all, in one jaw there are 4 premolars, and these are for chewing, for grinding and crushing food. And behind the premolars, on each side, there are 3 molars, out of which 2 are there in adolescents, and the 3rd molar, which is called the wisdom tooth, appears only at a later age, say about 19 to 24 years of age at maturity, and so it is called the wisdom tooth. So in an adult there are 32 teeth, in an adolescent there are 28 teeth, and in a child there are 20 teeth. All this we had done in detail on the previous turn. Today we are going to discuss the structure of the tooth. Now dentition we are doing, and today we are going to do the structure of a tooth. Now the basic structure of all teeth is almost same. Each tooth is divided into 3 parts. The part that is visible, the outermost part, is the crown. The part of the tooth that is embedded in the socket of the jawbone is called the root. The 3rd part is a slight constriction between the exposed part, that is the crown, and the root. And the root may have one process of fang that is inside the jawbone, or it may have 2 processes or 2 fangs. Like if you remember, I had told you that incisors, our broad teeth, have just 1 fang or 1 process as the root in the jawbone. This is the crown, and this emerges out of the gum. So this is the neck portion. Now after incisors, there is a canine, which is a conical tooth having one fang in the root. Then there is a bicuspid premolar having two roots, two fangs in the root. This is the shape of premolar. And then the fourth kind of tooth is the molar, which have 3 to 5 cusps, and the root may have 3 processes. This is the crown. So these are the 3 main parts. Neck is the slight constriction between the crown and the root. Crown is the exposed portion of the tooth, and root is the portion that is embedded and holds the tooth in position in the jaw. Now coming to the LS, that is longitudinal section of the tooth, or we also call it the vertical section or VS of the tooth. We will see that each tooth has got an exposed portion called the crown. This crown is embedded in the jawbone like this, and the crown or the entire teeth is formed of bulk portion called the dentine, which is covered by a hard enamel, and this is the root. Okay, I will label the root this side, 3 parts of the tooth. This is the root, the portion that is in the socket of the tooth. This portion is the crown, and this is the slight constriction, that is the neck. I told you 3 parts. Outer exposed part is called the crown. The one that is embedded inside is the root, and the neck is the slight constriction between the crown and the root. Now if we see the outermost covering, that is shiny, white in color, very hard, or we can say it is the hardest substance in the body, is enamel. It is also called ivory. Now enamel wears off with age, and after wearing off, we can say it wears off with age and exposes the dentine. And dentine is yellow in color. That is why after a certain age, the teeth start becoming yellow in color. With age, when the dentine wears off with brushing, the enamel wears off with brushing and the dentine is exposed, the teeth appear yellow in color. Then second, under the enamel, as I told you, enamel is also called ivory, shiny white in color. Below the enamel is the dentine. Dentine forms the bulk of the tooth. It is hard. It is harder than bone, but it is not as hard as enamel, because enamel is the hardest substance in the body. So dentine forms the tooth. Coming to characteristic of dentine, it is hard. It is harder than bone, but not as hard as the enamel. And this dentine forms the bulk of the tooth. Inside there is a cavity called the pulp cavity. The pulp cavity contains soft connective tissue called pulp. Soft connective tissue which is rich in blood capillaries. It has lymph vessels and also nerve fibers. And this pulp cavity contains all this, and it is in connection with, through the root, it is in connection with that of the body. So the sensation is felt when the enamel and the dentine gets damaged in case of caries or in case of tooth decay. The sensation can be felt because the pulp contains nerve fibers, and sometimes if the infection is bad, there can be bleeding because pulp also contains blood capillaries. Now the base of the tooth, there is another hard substance which is called cement, which fixes the cement is a hard substance which fixes the tooth in the socket so that it can be in its place. So these are the major parts. Externally we can see three main parts. The exposed part is the crown, the part that is embedded in the jawbone is the root, and the slight constriction between the root and the crown is the neck. That is that slight constriction from where the tooth comes out of the gum. This is the gum. This is the gum. This is the socket, and this is the root, and this is the crown. Outermost layer is enamel, dentine, then we have pulp cavity. This is the cement. Now this is a structure of a tooth. The general structure is same, but this is slightly conical, so we can say it can be the structure of a canine. But if we draw the structure of I'm just going to erase this and modify. Okay, I will erase here and show you the structure of say incisor. Incisor is structure of premolar. Incisor will just have one tooth, one root. This is the structure of a premolar. So here also we have the enamel, the dentine. Since there are two roots, this is the pulp cavity. This connects that to the inside. This is the pulp cavity having soft connective tissue, blood capillaries, lymph vessels and nerve fibers. This is the enamel. This is the dentine. This is the pulp cavity. This portion is the root. This is the crown. And this slight constriction is the neck. And this is the gum. And here the tooth is bounded in its socket by the cement. So we can see canines and incisors have one root, whereas premolars and molars have two processes or two or three roots. Generally the upper molars have three processes, or we can say they have three roots, whereas the lower molars have two processes. And cusps in the premolars are 2, whereas in the molars the cusps are 3 to 5. So this is a general structure of a tooth which is same for all kinds of teeth, though the teeth are heterodont, means of different kinds to perform different functions. So with this we have completed the chapter on dentition. It was a short chapter. After this we all are going to study about the digestive system. That's all. Take care. Good luck to all of you.